Scale up is very basically the process of making more of something. Developing a process of making more materials is really inventing a new way of making things. So if you think of just baking cookies, at home, you can bake a tray of cookies, no problem. In a bakery, okay, then you might have to make 4 or 5 trays of cookies a day. Now think of what you have to do to supply your local supermarket. Now think of what you have to do to supply your state. Now think of what you have to do to supply the country with your cookies. That's what Scale Up is. I'm Trevor Dzwiniel. I'm an interim group leader at Argonne National Laboratory. So you start with an invention in a laboratory. That's great. You've got the basic ideas down. Now you want to try and commercialize that. If you want to make a lot of money, you have to make a lot of cookies. You have to show investors and companies that what you're making is feasible and that you'll be able to make enough of it to actually fill a production line. People usually have this misunderstanding that scale up is the easy part of a process. The discovery or the invention is the hard part. The truth is, the scale up is where a lot of things fail. People either can't figure out how to make enough of it or can't figure out how to make enough of it fast. You can also think of that as de-risking the technology. So de-risking involves proving that you can do this, proving that you can make thousands of cookies at a time, proving to somebody that, hey, I can make this material at good quality and it has an application. This can go somewhere. So there's a lot of challenges in scale up. Very often, you can't just repeat what was done on a bench scale. You can't make hundreds of thousands of cookies in your kitchen oven. It's the same thing with laboratory equipment. You can't just use a huge beaker to make your materials. You have to find different ways of doing it. You have to use different equipment. And sometimes that means you have to do a lot of extra research to figure out how that's going to work properly. The materials we scale up at Argonne actually are a wide variety of things. We scale up polymers, we scale up energy storage materials, and primarily we scale up battery materials. So scale up is important to me because I find it incredibly interesting to find new and better ways of making materials, making compounds in the lab. You develop something that can be useful. You can develop something that's going to go places and hopefully make an impact on a company and ultimately on people's future.